Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Rob Races and Rebuilds. So today I'm currently looking at our new project and it's probably not what you guys would expect. It's not what I would expect. It's not what I'd buy. But here's the thing. This car found me. I didn't find it. So story time. I was working in the driveway the other day. We were doing an oil change, winter tire switch over, and just kind of general service on my mom's 9th gen SI. And this guy stops in my driveway and he's like, "Oh, hey man, I always see you out here working on Hondas. I just wanted to stop by and tell you I've got this Honda Civic." And he starts telling me about it, and in the moment, I wasn't really that interested in it. I don't know why, but anyways, he was like, "Yeah, I live just down the road, such and such, so if you want to just stop by, come have a look at it." And I said, "All right, yeah, sure, I'll come by and check it out." So a few hours go by, and that afternoon I had a spare half an hour, so I was like, "Yeah, screw it, I'll go look at this car. What can it hurt?" He did kind of tell me, he's like, "Oh, maybe it'll be a good parts car for you," so I figured. I didn't know what the condition was, but it was probably going to be cheap, so no harm in going to look at it. So I get there and I'm checking it out, and it's spoiler alert, been hit by a deer. It's got a little bit of damage on the front end. But he tells me, he's like, "Oh, I bought most of the parts for it, and it's been parked up in this spot for probably 3 to 4 years. It hasn't really moved." And I'm kind of walking around it looking, I'm thinking, well, this thing looks more than a parts car. So I asked him, I'm like, "Oh, how many kilometers are on it?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't even remember. It's been so long." So he went and grabbed the keys for it. The battery was dead, so we had to jump it with the truck, and it had 246,000 kilometers, which is, I don't know, 140 or 50,000 miles. And I'm like, "Oh, that's not that bad, right? It's pretty good for a Civic." And I'm starting to look closer, and like all the tires are good on it, and while we had the battery hooked up, I'm like, "Oh, do you mind if I see if it starts?" He's like, "Yeah, go for it." Turn the keys, thing flashed right up. Sat there and idled. No codes on the dash or nothing. So I was like, okay, this car's decent enough to fix. So I kind of just asked him what he wanted for it, and he's like, "I don't know. I was just thinking of taking the catalytic converter off and then sending it to scrap. So make me an offer." So I made him a pretty cheap offer, and he's just like, "Yep, I'll take it." So here we are. It's in my garage now. I haven't done anything to it besides I put a battery in it so that it would start and run on its own. I brought it in the garage and I've jacked it up. So without further ado, you want to see the car, Jackie? Yep, it's another 8th gen, but with a twist. It's not an SI. And I think I've mentioned in some videos that I am not a fan of R18 Civics. They're just underpowered. And yeah, I don't know, they just don't do it for me. Why buy an R18 Civic when you can buy an SI Civic for similar money? But like I said, this one found me and the price was right, so here it is. As I previously said, it's been sitting for 3 to 4 years, so it's pretty dirty on the outside. It's had an impact with a deer, but it's still clean title. So I actually bought a Carfax for it, and it's only a 2-owner car. It's never had an accident, but it does have a hail damage claim for about $2,900. There's no liens on it. It does have an open recall for the airbag inflator, so I'll have to get that dealt with. And the other thing is, this is actually like an out of province, or for the Americans, out of state car. So I will have to get it inspected for my province, and then I'll be able to insure it. But to do that, we need to fix some things. So why don't we have a quick tour around this thing, and I'll show you guys what it needs, which is, it needs some work, it needs some TLC. It's pretty dirty. Good thing my GoPro doesn't have smell-o-vision, I'll just say that. So as you can see, it's got decent winter tires on it. This side of the car is in pretty nice shape. Nothing really out of the ordinary. It does have tinted front windows. I'll have to remove the tint on these to pass inspection in my province. The rear mud flap seems to be missing from this side. And then we've got a touch of quarter rust here that looks like somebody has tried to fix up or play with, but I think, Jackie's trying to say hi. I think it won't be bad to fix. I think I can touch this up and make it look pretty nice. The beauty about Tafata White is it hides imperfections pretty well as far as touch-ups and stuff, so I think we'll be able to actually clean that up pretty good. Same story, we got the same tires on the back, on all four corners actually. I found a receipt in the car for them. And, watch out Jackie. It's on the EX wheels. So coming around the front, obviously this is where we have our damage. So this headlight is broken out. Grille is destroyed. Hood is pretty mangled. Bumper has some cosmetic issues, but nothing that I would bother replacing it. We gotta remember what the car is. So this headlight actually unfortunately does have a broken housing, so that needs replaced. This fender has a bit of a shallow dent right here. I don't know how well the camera will pick it up, but you can kind of see the crease there. And then it did kink it out right here as well. Kind of see it there. Another unfortunate thing is it does need a windshield. So I'll have to get that done to pass inspection. Coming down this side of the car, more of the same. It's pretty clean. We got some scuffs and a little scrape here and there. The quarter rust isn't as bad on this side actually. It's quite a bit better on this side, so that's good. And got the old EX trunk wing. I actually don't mind these, you know. I've never really looked that closely before because I've never owned one, but I kind of like that. I was wondering if it would look cool to run an SI wing and keep this little lip wing underneath it. It would be like a subtle kind of trim, like on an RSX Type S with a high wing they kind of have that little underwing, or on an EK hatch with a mid wing. It's kind of the same thing. I don't know, might look cool. And that's about that. I can't really get you guys around the back because I'm against the door here, but it's missing its muffler. The rest of the exhaust system seems like it's in really good shape. I did kind of crawl under and have a peek, but the muffler is gone. So I'm gonna try and source an SI muffler for it. Might as well give it a little bit more tone. So yeah, let's take a look at the interior here. And the interior is pretty grubby and smelly, but I've had the windows open. So. It's leather seats, heated, and it's got some fancy faux carbon fiber trim on everything there, as you can see, all over the place. I don't know. Jackie, what are you doing, man? Doesn't have its original floor mats. You can see the carpet is mega nasty. Cup holders are full of dog hair, mouse droppings. There's garbage and paperwork all over. There's a bit of mold in some spots. Like I said, she's been sitting. But I think this interior will actually clean up really nice. I just got to find a nice set of floor mats for it. And the unfortunate thing is the driver's seat does show some wear. I'll do my best to try and clean these areas up. And I'll probably just replace that center console lid, because that's pretty ugly looking. Right, Jackie? Yeah. I might change the shift knob. I know, like, it's a flip car and I shouldn't spend endless money, or needless money I should say, on it, but if I'm doing a project, I'd like to do it my way, and I hate the R18 shift knobs. I'd like to get something that's stock looking, but less Bulbasaur. The other thing I probably will do to it, I just can't help. I'll probably put a rear sway bar on it. I don't know if you've ever seen the rear sway bar on an R18HN, but they are the dinkiest. Like, it's smaller than my pinky finger. It's actually comically small. I don't even know why they put it on there, but I'll probably pull that off because I have a collection of sway bars down here. I think I have a stock rear SI one, so It's just laying there. I'm not going to use it on anything anyways. Might as well toss it on this car and it'll improve the handling just a bit, you know? Might as well improve it with the parts we have. So the other cool thing with this car was, I kind of mentioned earlier, is he gave me a bunch of parts that he had bought to start fixing it. So why don't we have a look at some of those? We've got a brand new grille here. It's just a knockoff, like a Chinese, Taiwanese, whatever, knockoff grill. But it's brand new, and it comes with a new Honda emblem. I'll probably have to buy the clips to attach that, but those Honda emblems are like 60 bucks, so that's a sweet deal. And that one, as you can see, is obliterated. We got a used hood, which he said he just primered, so that'll probably need a bit more body work and primer. And being that I'm trying to maximize my money on this car, I might try painting the hood myself. I don't have a lot to lose. If it turns out awful, I'll pay for someone to paint it, but I think I'm going to try on this one. What else did he give me? We got the heat shield for the muffler there. We've got a box of just miscellaneous parts, and then we've got the closeout panel for the radiator and the AC condenser. And then it's got 4 brand new brake rotors, front and rear, and brand new pads. All of that's in box still. Now, I gotta show you these brake rotors because they are some pimp my ride spec. I don't know what the hell someone was thinking, but let me just show you. Alright, you'll see I am opening this for the first time. So I opened one box already. These are unopened, is my point. You ready? Yeah. What in tarnation is that? It's like a really nice metallic blue. The color is cool. Why you'd put it on brake rotors? I don't know. But that is kind of a hint as to some other things under the hood. Let me pop this hood and I'll show you. Can you see it from back here, or do you want to get closer? We got blue AC brackets. We got blue bolts. We got a blue dipstick. We got a blue whatever that is. Yeah, I don't get it. What is people's obsession with painting stuff blue? So I guess I probably didn't really show it. I'll put pictures up on the screen here of my rally car when I bought it. But it was the same thing. It had a blue cold air intake. It had blue center caps. It had interiors locked. All the trim pieces that go around your vent piece, like everything around the vent on every single one. Blue. Steering wheel, blue. Shift bezel, blue. Brake calipers, blue. Even painted the camber arms blue. Like, I don't know. It's not my thing. Is it your thing? It's too much for me. I just like simple and clean. So, we're gonna have to de-bluify this car. At least this one's not bad. Actually, these bolts, the AC brackets, that'll all be covered by the closeout tray, so I don't even really have to repaint those. But you can bet your ass we're not keeping the blue dipstick or the blue brake rotors. I guess we're gonna have to paint those black or something. Yeah, Jackie agrees. So, anywho, pretty cool. I got all 4 brand new brake rotors, 4 brand new brake pads. We got a new grille, Honda badge, and hood. What we don't have, or what was not included, was headlights. Now, on the topic of rice, I have a set of headlights for this car. Jackie, why are you so crazy? Oh, crazy cat. Yeah. Like I was saying, I have a set of headlights. Don't you dare climb me. Don't do it. I do it. Oh God! You gotta use your claws. Yeah, it doesn't work if we don't use the claws. Oh gosh, okay. So I have a set of like Spec D, like angel eye headlights. Now, they came on the rally car. I thought they were hideous, so I took them off. I still think they're hideous. But they're the only headlights I have right now. They're in really good condition. And they're for a coupe, so I might as well use them. They fit the budget, right? So I gotta go dig those out, because I don't have them here to show you. But I think, because if you can't tell, outside it's rainy and nasty. I would love to wash this car first before I even touch it. But I think, why don't we work on fixing the front end? Let's throw the hood on it. Let's align all the panels. Let's fix the bumper, put the new grille on, put the new headlights in, so it's all kind of one piece. And then it's to a point where we can wash it. But before that, because I just remembered one thing, we didn't do a trunk tour yet. We better do that. But I gotta put this cat down, because she's needy. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. No dead bodies. But we got a plethora of tools. I haven't really gone through this yet, but I did have a peek, and we got a 2x4, we got a torque wrench without a torque wrench. Hey, there's that mud flapper missing. That's kind of sick. Anyways, yeah, random junk. Paint mixing bottle. Interesting. I think. Battery surround, and I see that there's a... Ow, my head, brain, goodness. Ugh. As I was saying, amplifier. Alright. I gotta go take an Advil. Jag, you stay out of the trunk. That's hazmat zone. Okay, enough jibber jabber. Let's work on this thing. Okay, you guys just seen me strip the front end off, and I had to do a little bit of straightening of this center core support. So the main support doesn't seem to have moved, but just the modular centerpiece was just a little kinked here where these brackets are. The grill mount was pointed down and the rad mount was pointed down, and then this little surface right here was pushed in a little bit, maybe half an inch or so. So I don't own a slide hammer, but I just use this flooring tool. Kind of works. You can hook it under there and then hit that backside there. And yeah, I was able to use that a few taps with the hammer, and we got that back into shape. So I might spend a few minutes cleaning some leaves and dirt and crap out of the front of this, and then there's really nothing to do but start assembly. These headlights though, so they're HID conversion, but to wire in the halos and these other LEDs, I need to splice those into the park light circuit, which will be one of these three. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out, because one will be signal and one will be park light. So I will figure that out, and then just have to splice that in. We should have fancy dancy halos. But yeah, it's all going together pretty good. I mean, coming apart. Off camera, I gave the front of the car just a really quick vacuum just to get the loose stuff off of it. And I reinstalled the AC brackets and the rad brackets now that I straightened all that out. And I hit it all with some cavity wax so that none of it rusts. Next thing we're doing now is figuring out the headlights. So as I previously mentioned, to wire in the halos and these LEDs, we're going to wire that into the park circuit. So I popped off the park light here, and you've got the little probe right there. We're just going to use a meter, and we'll turn on the switch inside the car and see which wire is the one we want. So you'll see that it's a 3-wire system. The black wire in the center will most likely be our ground, and then we've got the blue and the red. One will be a constant power for park lights, and the other will be a flashed circuit. It'll be on and off basically for your signal and your 4-way flashers. So I will turn the headlight switch on, we'll hit it with the meter, and we'll see which is which. Okay, our headlights are on. Put one into the ground, like I said, and then probe the other. So red appears to be constant power. You can see it's reading 11.8 volts. If I probe to blue, I got nothing. So let me go turn on the 4-way flashers and we'll see what we get. Okay, 4-way flashers are on. Probe from black to blue. You can see the meter jump 0, 10, 0, 10, 0. Well, it's kind of all over the place because I probably have bad connection, but. So blue is the flasher circuit and red is the constant power circuit. So we need to tap into the black and the red for our halo headlights. All right, guys, I got some batterish news. So I went through the effort of splicing in these pigtails from our park light circuit so that I could run them into these 3 LEDs and the halos of the new headlights, new used headlights. Well, I went through all that effort and then only these 3 lit up. My halos didn't work. I have regrets not testing that. So then what I did was I took the other one and tested it, just put it straight to battery. And I can show you guys, actually. Might as well show you guys. See it flicker away there. So, no good. And yes, these lights are DOT approved, so they would pass inspection. But the thing is if there is a light, it has to work to pass. And if those halos aren't working or one's flickering, I'm not gonna pass. So that is a bummer. I'm trying to think what I should do. As of right now, I don't have another set of headlights. So I have the headlights that are in Allen, the other silver FG2, and then I've got these headlights in this silver FG2. After I'm done with this white car, I'm probably gonna work on the junkier silver FG2 because this car is gonna turn into the nice car eventually. So I'm wondering if I should just rob these headlights for now and I should try and find a better set for this car, because I could do that. I don't know. I gotta make a decision here, but basically to get this car together, I need to throw some headlights in it. So there's no sense putting a bumper, grill, and hood on it with no headlights. So let me think on that for a minute, and I'll get back to you guys. If there's one thing we know for sure, these headlights are trash. Yeah. The other thing we know is that I modified that harness on the one side of that car. So we're gonna steal this one off the red car. So as I was saying there, I modified this harness. I added these 2 wires for the halos, which was a complete waste of time. And now I don't want to leave these butt connectors and this wires here. So I'm going to cut these off before the butt connectors. And then I'm going to wire on this new pigtail we just cut off of the red car. And I'm going to solder the joints properly and heat shrink them. And that'll be back to OEM. And we'll be back to square one where we were before we wasted all this time trying to put those junky headlights in. That's what I get. And I still haven't decided which headlights I'm stealing. So perhaps I should look up and see if Honda still makes brand new OEM ones. And if I can get a set, I could put them in that silver car, since that's going to be the nice car. And I could take those ones. But that's barring cost, because I bet you they are pricey. Anyway, let's fix this wiring harness. Alright, a decision has been made. I want to get this car turned over as quickly as possible, so I'm going to take the headlights from the silver car. This one came out of one of my own parts cars, so whatever you want to call that for value, and I think I paid $100 for this one. So I'm just going to use those, and then, like I said, this car is about the third car in the queue. It's more of probably a springtime, late winter, springtime build. So if I can source a nicer set of headlights for that car, or maybe even new ones, we'll see. I wouldn't mind maybe going to kooky headlights with that car. We'll do that, because this is the car I'm gonna do nicely. So let's take those headlights and those brackets, slam them in this car. You'll see there on the time lapse, I soldered and repaired the wiring harness back to OEM, since I chopped it up for those other headlights. So the only thing is those headlights are Zenki, so this is a kooky car, so it'll now have amber corners, but I actually think the amber corners look really nice on the white. If you guys know my white 9th gen, I did the same thing on that car and it looks great. So back to jibber jabbering. Let's just put those headlights on this car so we can actually get something accomplished. You can see that there actually is some kind of very minor stress fractures in this headlight. Some of that is too deep that it wouldn't go away with wet sanding and 3M. So actually doesn't hurt my feelings. Too bad that I'm taking these from that car, because like I said, I want that car to be nice. So, but these will be more than good enough for that. The only thing is I left the LEDs that were in these attached to that car. So we got to rip the old bulbs, stock bulbs out of those headlights. Throw them in these ones, slam them in the car. Oh, they're blue. Just like everything else about that car. Are we surprised? No, not really. Anywho, I'm going to put the other 3 in, and then we'll slam them in there. Alright, hood and headlights are mocked up, so got the gap pretty well OEM on this side. I could maybe lift the hood a little bit here by putting a block of wood in there and giving it a few more tweaks. The gap here, so you'll see it's pretty tight down at the bottom, but it's about right all the way up here. I think this is partially due to the dent in the fender here, which maybe you can kind of see it goes in here. So if this was popped back out where it's supposed to be, it would probably pull the nose of this fender to where it's supposed to be. So I'm not going to mess with it too much further than that, because I may have someone PDR that dent, and that will not be me. Unless I get spicy, I don't know. But it's looking pretty good. I'm fairly happy with fitment thus far. It isn't perfect, but it's decent. So let's move on to the bumper and the grill and all that nonsense. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to affix this Honda badge. And yeah, just got to transfer that grill to that bumper, and now the bumper can be slapped straight back, straight back onto the car. So let's do it. Okay, grill is mounted to the bumper, and it fits as horrible as you'd expect for a Chinese part. I managed to save these two little push clips of this old smashed H logo, so I'll be able to use those to install the H onto there. And then I need to transfer this bracket here onto the grill, and then there's, I think the other one's sitting in that jar. I'll transfer those brackets onto the grill, and then we can throw it on the car. Alright, got the H badge on, and I got the passenger bracket on. Unfortunately, the driver's bracket, which was the one in the jar, I hadn't looked at it, but it snapped off, so I'm gonna have to purchase this bracket from Honda and install it after the fact. It may be a bit of a pain in the arse, but it's not a huge deal. We'll make it work. So I think with that, we can throw the bumper on here. I might vacuum out some of the leaves that are in it, and then we can install it. All right, she's back together. Looks pretty good. Not bad at all, actually. Bumper fits up decent. I've got a little bit of a gap here by this headlight, but nothing I'm super worried about. The grill here, once that new bracket comes in, will sit a little tighter. Bumper fits up really nice on that side, so yeah, I'm happy with it. She's got her front end again. Obviously a few little misc items to clean up, but that's a good amount of progress. Something else I wanted to show you guys earlier. Shows how long this thing's been sitting. Look at all the moss under this wing. Look at that. Oh man. And on the trunk. So that shows pretty good, but I would like to, now that it's together again and it's actually not raining out, I don't know if I'll get to washing it in this video, but I'd like to just get it outside, put the windows down, let it air out, and like, let's fill a garbage can with all the crap that's inside this thing, because there's a lot of it. Better look at all the hair and crap inside this thing. as you guys just seen there, gave it a preliminary wash. By no means was it a detailed wash. I just kind of wanted to get the scuzz off of it and kind of see what we're working with. So it's good and bad. The paint is thin in a few areas, but there's no real clear coat issues, which is nice, being that it's Tafata white. It has an absolute ton of contaminants in the paint. I think the 3 or 4 years it was sitting, it was under a tree there. So it's got a lot of pitch and just random tree stuff that's impregnated. And it also has a lot of iron deposits, so we'll probably start with like an iron remover, coat the paint in that, and then we'll probably clay the paint, and then probably polish, wax. And I don't know, maybe, I've never tried ceramic coating. Would you guys want to see that? Maybe I should try buying whatever the cheapest ceramic coating off Amazon is and give it a shot, see how it turns out. You can see the paint along here is chipping, and in here a bit. That's probably evidence of that hail damage it had in 2010. Probably the repaint, right? It wasn't super amazing, so you just get a little bit of paint chipping around here and there. That's not a big deal. I can fix those areas. Still got lots of moss and stuff under the wing, but I tried to get as much as possible. Lots of rock chips everywhere, but again, being Tafata white, all that'll hide really well. So I am actually looking forward to restoring the paint on this car the best to my abilities. Should look pretty good. And then we'll obviously polish the headlights as well. Get those dialed, and that'll make it look pretty sharp. So, but I think that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. I just wanted to introduce the project to you and start working on it. So my next task will be making a list of new/used parts that I need to find and buy and whatnot. And I'm gonna get on ordering that stuff ASAP so that I can keep content rolling on this thing, for one, and for two, like I said, I want to turn this car over as quick as possible. Not a car I want to keep, so I want to get it all dialed, inspected, and get it for sale. And while it's for sale, I'll probably drive it. But yeah, like I said, I think that's it for this episode. So I know it's not the coolest car, but I think it's kind of fun content doing car flip stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one when we're working on probably this thing again. So peace out, guys.